Welcome back. This week, 3 years ago, Hurricane Dorian swept through two islands in the northern Bahamas, killing hundreds in its wake. Tonight, we begin our week-long series From Horror to Hope. Our Theo Seeley takes a journey between Abaco and Grand Bahama, speaking with Dorian survivors who recall their life-changing experience while riding out that monster storm. We'll also hear the story of hope on the horizon some 3 years later as both islands rebuild. Tonight, we begin our series on Abaco as survivors share what September 1st felt like 3 years ago when Dorian made landfall. Here's this special report.
August 29th, 2019, I landed on Abaco with my cameraman Shamiko Gilbert ahead of a Category 3 hurricane named Dorian, which was churning through the Atlantic Ocean, barreling toward the Abacos. That storm eventually intensified to a Category 5 monster, and just a few hours after the monstrous storm made landfall, we lost all connection with the news desk. Our hotel was eventually compromised, and we made a 40-minute trek through floodwater to the government complex for safety. 3 years later, August 2022, we returned to Abaco and set foot on the same hotel property that we fled during Dorian's fury in 2019. Back to tell the stories of all of us who survived and can now tell a tale of a disastrous storm that everyone underestimated.
When I hear the storm coming, I just put one piece of wood across my window. We used to them the light storm. We used to know heavy storm like that. Yeah. And Dorian surprised me.
Well, I was thinking that a normal storm would just come and we was just relaxing.
But then we wasn't expecting what was coming.
I knew it was coming because in my dream that week before it happened, I dreamed that it was coming. I saw the water in my dream, eyes the lampole.
You care about a Category 3 and you think to yourself, well, we could handle a Category 3. But to our surprise, by the time it was ready up on us, we was notified that it was going to be a Category 5.
Houses crumbled like sand castles on a shoreline. Churches were gutted from the ceiling to the floor. 3 years later, driving through settlements in Abaco, there's still so much destruction that remains. Oswald Nixon of Dundas Town, Abaco, had a close call with death as Dorian swept through his settlement. The 74-year-old survivor told a story of fear and survival.
There was 18 of us inside here with water up to our necks, with two babies, one in each cooler, one in a styrofoam cooler and one in an igloo cooler. Everything was just going, gushing in and out like a huge surge just was coming through the house. We had to break open the doors so the water could pass through.
That storm surge was estimated to be some 14 feet or higher, sweeping away decades of memories.
I mean, it's a sad story. You know, it's a very, very sad story. Because 1 minute, that's my house. You see what's there, just the foundation? That was my house. And I look at that house, and I turn my head because the sea was coming rushing through this building, and my granddaughter was on my side, and it seemed that the wave was, trying to suck her, and I reached for her. And when I turned around and look again, the building was gone completely. I'll be honest with you, I say we're going to die.
Not far away from Nixon's home, we found 61-year-old Nigel Thompson in his front yard. He put his work tools aside for about an hour to share his Dorian experience.
After the hurricane had passed, I came out here to look for my house. I swam past my house. I was going out this way. It wasn't nothing here, just foundation. A Haitian lady with her little babies on the back, and a boat was passing at the same time. So I swim and I hold her, I put her on the boat, but the little baby's already gone. And I finished swim this way. And that really moved me.
Have you ever seen anything like that sort of devastation in your entire life?
No, I haven't. I'm 61 years old. I even been through Hurricane Betsy. I can remember Hurricane Betsy. When my old man was toting us from upstairs, downstairs, I can remember that. And I never seen nothing like that.
Thompson's father, 81-year-old Godfrey Thompson, ran between two homes and a church during the storm. And he says the roofs on all three structures were torn off by the hurricane. And even in raging floodwater, he says he never feared for his life.
I wasn't feeling no different, still feeling the same. One thing I get, these two fingers, I had to take 21 stitches in these two fingers. I get these catch between the door like that. That's the only problem.
So you knew you were going to make it?
I knew I was going to make it because I believe in one mind. I believe in Jesus. That's all I was praying. Every minute I was praying.
Down at the Marsh Harbor Ferry dock, we found a taxi driver of 42 years, Leonard Cornish. He rode out the storm in Central Pines, and he'll tell you that the horrors of Hurricane Dorian still linger like it was yesterday.
Me and my wife were sitting in the house, right? And when I look, the house roof started going. Then the whole house crumbled.
With you inside?
With me and my wife inside. We had to run outside, ran in a car. The car was already broke down, broken half. We went in that, sit down that for safety. The wind going on in that inside of trying to carry that. Well, I was thinking that was the end. I was thinking that's the end. Because just with everything what I probably could have put on, I was just losing it. You know, I say this is it.
3 years later, Cornish is back to work. And not far from the dock, we found farmer Frank Bethel running through the Marsh Harbor area with his dog. We flagged him down, and he was open to sharing about his Dorian experience.
I would have liked to have been with my mom and them, but, you know, I knew they were safe where they were, so I had to, you know, protect my investment. You know, I lost a lot of stuff, you know, a few animals, you know, a lot of trees blew down and so on, but other than that, you know, thank God for life.
Where's the farm located?
South of Spring City.
So we took a ride to the farm near Spring City, where he rode out the storm with his now-deceased wife in a school bus.
You know, it was crazy because, you know, the other side of the bus, you know, we lost a portion of that roof, so we had no choice but to go in the bus. And you could see the windows, everything was open the way it is now. And we actually got to witness what was happening on the outside. My animals was some of them that got caught up in the wind. They was just balling up like softballs and just floating through the sky. I lost all of my citrus in the storm. So basically I was only left with the guava grove, the soursop grove, and the sugar apple grove.
Frank rode out the storm on his farm, but there were others who ran to their local church for safety.
A lot of people was inside there, around more than 30 people was shelters in the church. So when I get in that information, even I told them the church are too close to the sea, don't stay there. But you know, people just say that's a solid building, but they don't listen. But when the storm reach the water raise up inside there, but I keep praying because I was at home at this moment. So after that, God hand was in that to make the water go down and they pull out. Glory to God, nobody wasn't dying inside there.
Stephen Boodle wasn't so lucky. He found himself swept away in flood water, losing many of his friends in a vicious king tide.
I was in the heart of it because the water pushed us from, you see where the babies on the wall?
Yeah.
We got pushed from there to Kentucky to in town. A few of my friends died.
What was going through your mind at that time? I mean, you talk about water pushing you from one place to the next, your friends dying. What was going through your mind?
Boy, God, tell you the truth, I just was praying. I was praying mostly the time.
Have you ever experienced anything like that in your life?
No, never in my life. I've been through flood, Iran, but I never saw nothing like that in my life.
Dorian survivor Caroline Humes and her brother's home was washed away in the storm. A dome sits on the foundation where the structure used to be.
So what happened to this home during the hurricane? Was it completely destroyed?
Yeah, right down. Right down. He can tell you. He can tell you.
The water was like a freight train was coming from that way. When I look up by the dock area, that the water started to come. My house in the back, the water started to come up in the front part of the house because the old lady was sitting there and after said she was getting wet. So I moved back in the kitchen. The front part was our room was gone. Then the next room, the front part only left the kitchen part. So I said, Mommy, the house getting destroyed. We gotta make a move soon. And after it started to take down, we make a move to my brother's house. And after it started to take down, I forgot my documents inside the house. That's the wrongest thing I did. So after I remember that, I make a move inside to get my stuff. And after I got in, the wind came from this way, and I got locked inside, or I couldn't get out.
Wow.
So my room was in the back. So I prayed that the side was to come out where I can make a move to get out. And the time I got out and put my hand on my brother there, the house fall flat.
Wow. What was going through your mind when all of this was happening?
Man, all kinds of things, because I don't know, if I was going to live or die.
The same stories of horror that Dorian survivors shared in Abaco ran true over in Grand Bahama as well. Tomorrow we hear from survivors on that island who recall the hours leading up to its landfall and the torture they endured as the monster storm stood stationary over their island for more than 24 hours. Theo Seeley, Eyewitness News.